Wait, Happy New Year's, you guys. Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's. Oh, that's grammatically incorrect. Happy New Year. It's one singular year. Happy New Year, everyone. I don't even have a cold open. We just gotta get into it because we're already starting off with some BS. Anyway, welcome to No One Listens to Kendall, the show where I talk like no one's listening. My name is Kendall. I feel like I was manifesting this, but now that I've been perceived at the magnitude at which I've been perceived on TikTok these past few weeks, it's just like it's making me feel like who's behind me? Like, he's right behind me, isn't he? He's right behind me, isn't he? Girl, my New Year celebration was insane. I do in fact get so gay off that tequila, apparently, allegedly, and evidently. I am not proud of the behavior I displayed with my beautiful twin sister who accompanied me and made sure that I got back to my tiny ass apartment in one piece. For some reason, I thought it was a good idea. Josie's still here. To mix wine, vodka, and tequila in this tiny body in one sitting. And I think at the very most, I had eaten Cane's and edible cookie dough. And I was at a lesbian bar. Man, I'm running through your nigga's house like the Tomb Raider, like evidence of me going out. Here's some pictures. I look good though. I looked good though in my $20 rainbow dress. Rainbow is now what Forever 21 was. Like, and even Rainbow was a little bit pricey. I was like, $20? I gotta pay $22 for this dress? But I got a good picture. That one thing about me, I'm gonna get a good picture. Every 6 months, I'm gonna get a good picture. Do you know what I mean? I'm so excited to be back and to take this seriously this year and to be consistent this year. So I know I took some time off for the vacation for the holidays, but we are back in full swing. And over said holiday, I watched The Pit in its entirety in 2 days. In 2 days. I made some TikToks about it, much to the dismay of some palm-colored people who can't seem to look past white man yaoi. White man yaoi is good in small doses, but I challenge thee to expand your third eye. To expand your third eye and think bigger things. Think bigger things. How and ever, as the hypocrite I am, I do ship Mo Abbott. I do ship Mohan and Abbott simply for the fact that I think Abbott is hot. I think Mohan is hot. So if 1 + 1 = 2, you know what I mean? I love the characters. I love the writing. I love the concept of each episode being an hour of the shift. That alone already had me gobsmacked. And then learning more about the doctors through how they treat the patients and it all culminating into the mass casualty incident. Excellent structure for a season of television. So season 2 premiered. Damn. Are you good? Okay. Season 2 premiered on Thursday. I did come home with swiftness only to be met with the information that it would not be releasing until 8 p.m. that evening. So I had already eaten my prosciutto arugula pizza with 2 hours to spare. Like, oh my gosh. So I had to eat my tiramisu during it, which was not what I was planning. I was planning on having the pizza and the tiramisu all in one big sitting so that my stomach could feel full. But I'll do a separate video, a separate episode on The Pit maybe so I can go character by character. But just know it's Mohan, Mel, Abbott for me. And I don't know what Abbott did to make y'all not like Abbott other than the potentiality of military propaganda, but like we haven't seen that yet. That is hypothetical. That is something that could happen in the future. I'm talking about the President Abbott. And is it influenced by the fact that I'm going through Sean Hannity psychosis? Yeah. My black behind almost hit play on Animal Kingdom. I had never heard of that in my life. Animal Kingdom? Somebody told me to watch it, and I simply had to say no because I'm kind of like at a 0.5 with way too many people right now. If you don't know that, it's like the fangirl scale that Brooke Averick came up with. There's like a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and then there's like the tier 0.5. And I'm at a 0.5 with way too many people right now, way too many people. So we have to like, I scared my cat. I guess I sounded like a cat. We got to shrink it up a little bit. Honorable mention to Langdon, because the season 2 premiere made me like Langdon a little bit more. I made a video about it on TikTok, and maybe one day we can talk about why the addiction storyline resonates so much for me. Okay? Now, also since I've been gone, Heated Rivalry ended, got renewed for 2 more seasons. Rachel Reed is releasing another Holinoff book. And Connor and Hudson have been everywhere. I was worried about, post-cottage blues, post-cottage, what the hell? Post-cottage depression. Whatever shall we do? Well, really, we haven't gotten a break since the damn show ended. We actually haven't gotten a break. There has been no time to be depressed. In fact, I feel so crazy, I feel so deranged that I took it upon myself to block Hudson Williams. So I've blocked Hudson Williams because I have not felt this way since I was 16 and obsessed with Shawn Mendes. I have not felt this way since I was 16 and saw Kim Namjoon for the first time on the American Music Awards. I cannot afford to have a celebrity crush like that ever again, because I think I was on the brink of mental collapse. So Hudson, I love you bad, and I love you long. But we're gonna have to create some distance. Because I don't know what it is about that man's face, combined with his charm and everything else. There's a certain je ne sais quoi that has rendered me speechless, helpless, pitiless, and aghast. So, I hope y'all had fun, because this is the end of the road. You may be asking, Kendall, that's mean. Why would you block the poor guy? What did he do to you? Well, I felt myself going down a pipeline that I hadn't been down since the year of our Lord and Savior 2018, when I first laid eyes upon Shawn Mendes, when I first laid eyes upon Kim Namjoon of BTS Bangtan fame. And I felt that rising in my blood. I felt that chemical reaction occurring in my brain. I felt those neurons, those synapses firing. I felt them firing. And I said, well, I simply have to put an end to this. I hold fate in my own hands. I hold my destiny in my own hands. I control such. And so I took it upon myself to block Hudson Williams. And my declaration of such has 20,000 likes on TikTok. I guess. And then people took it upon themselves to flood my comments with gorgeous picture after gorgeous picture of Hudson Mildred Williams. I really love him so bad. And the fervor can only be described as a 0.5, like a tier 0.5, the tier system, the fangirl tier system, trademark Brooke Averick of Brooke and Connor Make a Podcast fame. And it's fascinating how it happened so quickly. You know, I think the catalyst was that picture of him in the yellow sweater. That's where we started. And then it just spiraled out of control up into the point where we reached Jimmy Fallon, and I saw him do those hockey stretches. And I said, well, like buzzer, we can't do this. We can't keep doing this. We simply cannot. Not on my watch. I have to lock in this 2026. We have big aspirations, big thrills, and big dreams. Big dreams and big thrills, whatever order it is, NCT Dream. Look, we have big aspirations that we are going to be fighting for, working towards, and I cannot be distracted by a man from Canada nonetheless. Pull up every clip of me talking about Mark Lee. But we simply cannot do this. We simply cannot. I will be protecting my peace, and I have to maintain that distance. All of this reminded me of there was a Substack writer, a fandom writer, an author, and like just a general internet person. One of my favorite micro internet celebrities. Her name is Hey Shanae. And back when she had her podcast, I gotta check if she's still doing her podcast because oh my God, I loved her podcast and then she stopped it. But Hey Shanae has this concept of a mind palace and how when you are infatuated with a real life public facing person, there is a version of them that exists in a mental plane. And this mental plane, this mind palace, is spiritual. It's spiritual. And there are rules and boundaries that are contained. Josie, can you not do that, please? Thank you. Oh, we're going to keep doing it. Josie, I'm going to throw the pillow at my child. Is that okay with you guys? Josie. Oh. See, that worked. I didn't throw it at her. I threw it in the opposite direction. There are rules and regulations and boundaries that are contained within this mind palace, right? There are limitations to it. So, and it's an illusion because obviously with how projection works and how human beings project onto one another, especially when there is that distance of celebrity and fan, it is so easy to project onto people. The K-pop industry has learned how to capitalize on these projections and feed into these projections and help people fuel their mind palace. But when we're talking about a quote unquote normal celebrity or someone with such a meteoric rise to fame, it's a lot more fiction than it is reality. And seeing Hudson Williams go on these different podcasts with Anderson Cooper, Jimmy Fallon, various other, his alma mater. That one was funny because you see him really lock in and be like, let me be professional at the school I attended. But seeing him in the interviews has only added fuel to the mind palace because I'm like, oh, he's extroverted, he's confident, he likes the attention, he wants the attention, and he's been working for this. There are some people that they're really great at their craft, but you can tell it was never about the fame for them. I think of Josh O'Connor. Josh O'Connor comes to mind because I just watched the Knives Out movie, and I am obviously very obsessed with the Challengers. So I was thinking about Josh O'Connor. And he's just a little guy who likes to garden and ride his bike and go visit different parks and engage in nature. Contrasting that against Hudson's interviews of this perfect balance between sound bites and fan service and delicately jumping around questions. You can really see his media training shine because he's this perfect concoction of cocky but not arrogant, playful but not crass, charming but not smarmy. He's this balance. For some people, maybe that illusion was broken with the Letterboxd reviews. Unfortunately, that made me like him more because he's funny. He's funny for that. This pathetic attempt at a movie. But I had to block him for my own mental health. Oh my gosh. I'm taking out these glasses. I got stuck in my hair. But it's a new year. New year, same me. I'm still crazy. I'm still wilding out. And I wanted to do my 2026 ins and outs. Okay? Ins. YouTube. We're bringing back YouTube, you guys. We're going to bring it back in strides. And I don't mean like these big productions. I mean like normal people opening up their phone and being like, I'm going to put this on YouTube. I'm going to put this on YouTube. So, hey. Because this is kind of a podcast, but it's also like a YouTube show. Next, nerding out. I like K-pop. I like anime. I like Dungeons and Dragons. I like learning K-pop dances. I like comics. I like Dune. I like sci-fi. I love movies. And I will be proudly nerding out. I will not be ashamed of my interests anymore. We don't have time for that. Like, we really don't have time for that. The world is kind of burning. We don't have time to be ashamed of our interests. Additionally, 2026 fashion, but elevated. I want us to take all the things from 2026 and like 2026 from 2016, throw it into a 2026 context and like and live. I want to let the 2014 swag era kind of bleed into our 2016 vibe and then further bleed into our 2026 elevated version of these like chronically online digital age kids. Tumblr kids, kids raised on Tumblr gone mad. Like that's the vibe we're going for. That's the vibe we're going for. I will probably end up more on the twee side of things, but in my head, I'm 2014 swag era Zendaya. That's my girl. In many ways, Zendaya was my queer awakening. But we don't have time for that. We're gonna keep going. Posting drafts, posting initial iterations of things, and not being afraid to do them over again. I have one student film that reached the light of day, and I want to remake it. I want to remake it and to see how I've grown as a storyteller and as an artist, and see if I can make it better and expand upon my original ideas. I want to keep putting iterations of things out into the world. Maybe there will be a different iteration of this podcast one day, you know? Maybe it will morph into an actual YouTube show and not necessarily just be a podcast. Posting drafts of things, calling it a draft, being like, oh, this is the first version of this. It might come back, it might not, but it's not perfect. It's not how I want it to be perfect. But I'm still going to release it out into the world. And it's releasing yourself from the idea of perfection is what I mean by posting drafts. In. Collaboration. I have a difficult time asking people to embark on creative endeavors with me. I'm commissioning a friend of mine, a friend of my sister's. They go to the same university together. I'm commissioning him for some more artwork for my YouTube and my podcast because I really want to like elevate. I don't want to say branding because that makes me sound like I think I myself am a brand. I don't view myself as a brand, but I want to elevate the aesthetics of what we have going on here. And hopefully later down the line, upgrade my camera, upgrade my microphone, and really invest in that. But I think having like a good forward facing branding in my profile picture and my YouTube banner or the podcast art itself will really help draw people into the vibe that I'm trying to bring. Like I really want to bring this lo-fi, old school, just sit and chat with me on camera vibe to this pod and whatever else it will become eventually. So collaboration, getting other people's input, having other people on the podcast, creating other videos, dancing with people outside of just my dance team and collaborating with them. I want to just collab more. Collaboration. I want to work with people more and see how my creative voice can gel with others' creative voices. In for 2026, stepping into your purpose. I still am struggling to figure out what my purpose is and discerning passion from purpose. Because I feel like I have a lot of passion for different things, but I don't know which one of those things is going to be my purpose. For example, I love teaching. And I think teaching was meant to be a part of my journey. I think I have an intuitive side that comes out when I teach. I think I have a lot of empathy for the situation that any student in America is in because the public education system is insanity. And me having gone through it, recently, I think it's at top of mind what these students need, and what they need is empathy first and foremost, and someone to believe in them. And it's cheesy and it sounds corny and it's like duh, but there are teachers that do not believe in their students and will make it well known that they do not believe in their students. I'm on a tangent. I say that to say I know I have a passion for teaching, and I know it was meant to be a part of my journey at some point. Even just going from teaching and leading summer camps to teaching in a public education sense, there was a feeling of something clicking into place that happened. I feel passion for dancing. When I dance and when I perform on stage, there's that feeling of something clicking into place, but I don't know what my purpose is. When I recorded this podcast, when I started, like, actually doing a few episodes back to back and editing them and making it a priority to get them out and actually do it and promote it and tell people in my real life that this is the project that I'm working on. There was something that was clicking into place, but I don't know where my purpose fits into that. Passion versus purpose, passion versus purpose. So I'm really hoping to get some clarity and step into some sort of purpose. And I don't know what that even means for me yet. I don't even know what that means for me yet. But I'm manifesting it for the year. Purpose. And maybe it's arbitrary, maybe it's an elusive term, but I want it for myself. And similarly, I am dreaming crazy things this year. Unabashedly dreaming crazy, crazy, crazy things that sound ridiculous when I write them on paper, that sounded ridiculous when I was searching them in the search bar on Pinterest to put on my mood board, right? I want to create. For years, people have been telling me to model. I want to model. I want to do fashion editorials. I want to dance on bigger stages. I want to choreograph. I want to write and film things with my friends. I want to get signed. I want to be signed to a podcast network. I want to distribute a film. Do I know if I'm ever actually going to do these things, if it's going to happen this year? I don't know, but I'm dreaming it and I'm putting it out into the universe. I'm dreaming crazy, crazy, crazy things. Crazy things, I'm dreaming them. And if slash when they happen, I will be able to look back and say, I was crazy enough. I dared to speak my dreams into existence and to work towards them. Because it's the both. It's the two. It's the two. It's the both. Sometimes I speak and I sound real hillbilly, and I'm like, that's the Arkansas jumping out. That's Arkansas jumping out of me. It's the both. It's the two. Dreaming, speaking those dreams into existence, working towards those dreams, putting myself in spaces where those dreams can become a reality. I even want to act. I did theater growing up, but I was always focusing on the musical aspect of it because I was in musical theater, but I want to give acting a chance too. I'm shy. I hate talking in front of people. I have social anxiety, but we're gonna act. I want to be in a play. I want to maybe direct and film and act something and act in something that I write because I love writing. So crazy dreams ends. So to recap, my ends for 2026: YouTube, nerding out, 2016 fashion elevated, posting drafts, collaboration, stepping into your purpose, dreaming crazy dreams. Dreaming crazy dreams. My outs: nihilism. It's gotta go. It's gotta go. I have been passively suicidal for so long. Since I was about 15. It sounds crazy to say for the gay hockey show, but You Deserve Sunshine. I do. I deserve sunshine, and I have to believe that for myself if I want it for myself. And it will not be done by way of nihilism, believing that everything and everyone is bad, the world is ending, everything's terrible. We have to make room for joy. We have to fight for joy. We have to choose joy. I had a family friend. That was her motto: choosing joy. And it's an active choice, an active decision that you have to make every day. So nihilism out. Next out. Not showing up or flaking. This was a problem I had because I'm a people pleaser in front of people, but I'm an introvert and insecure and have social anxiety behind closed doors. So I would say yes to things and then not show up to them. How do you expect to build community if you don't want to be a part of the community, if you're not showing up to be a part of the community? Flaking's out. It's out. If you're saying you're going to be there, you got to be there. And I've already messed this up this year because I got invited to a party. I said I was going to be there and then I didn't go because I got tired. And then I saw people that were at the party and they're like, Kendall, we were waiting for you. Kendall, we were wondering why you weren't there. I saw your name on the list on the RSVP and we were like, oh my gosh, I thought you were going to come. I've never experienced that before. I almost wanted to cry because like someone noticing your presence or something. Oh my God, no, someone noticing your absence. So, what that's telling me is that there's something being built here. There are people that enjoy having me around. And because of my own insecurities, because of my own depression, because of my own passive suicidalness, it's difficult for me to believe that. But I'm being shown that over and over again, especially with the way people have shown up for me. People showed up for me last year. And it was unexpected people that showed up for me last year. Let's take a commercial break while I go get my sweet corn ricotta pasta. So to add on to the flaking, because I'm known to do the introvert Irish finger and be like, okay, my social battery is done. Sometimes we got to suffer for the community. Sometimes you stay 2 hours after you wanted to leave. You know, I did that on Halloween. But I actually ended up having a good time because I stayed. In the same vein, waiting a week to reply to somebody. I was doing that bad. I've been rehabilitated and I'm down to like 3 days, but even that is still bad. People deserve a response if they're reaching out to you. So if I haven't responded to you in a while, call me out and be like, you bitch. You're a hypocrite and a liar. Respond to my texts, please. Because that was an issue for me. I was wallowing in self-pity and blaming everything on depression. But at a certain point, you have got to be able to acknowledge your mental your mental illnesses. You have to be able to acknowledge aspects of your personality that you don't necessarily love and put in the effort to change them. It's not enough just to acknowledge and be like, oh, this is the way I am. Boo, boring. That's not a growth mindset. Out, out, out. So replying 1 week later, out. Next part. Why did I write this? Out, resenting your mother. Let it go. Give that woman some peace. At the end of the day, this is all our first time on earth. Unless you believe in reincarnation. How would that work? Oh, that's fascinating. No, I love my mom. I think my mom is awesome for so many different reasons. And she really took it upon herself to break what was supposed to be the mold for her as a Southern Black woman from Arkansas with 2 kids, single parenting in a big city. And throughout it all, as we've ebbed and flowed over the years, at the hearth in the center of it was self-love and self-acceptance, even at the detriment of others. Maybe the word for that is selfish. Maybe the word for that is self-assured and investing in yourself. And to this day, I still don't have all of the context for the decisions my mother has made over the years. I feel as though I know a very small portion of why she is the woman she is. But from what I do know, and as I'm getting older, and as I'm doing self reflection, I've got to give that woman some more empathy. I just have to. And I have to stop harboring physical resentment because for me, it lives in the body. My resentment lives in the body. I definitely harbor a lot of resentment for different people, and it's not healthy. It's not healthy in a literal sense, it's not healthy in a philosophical sense either. I almost feel like it generates bad karma. Like you have to, it's like an energetic release that I'm seeking. And I don't know what work I need to do it. Probably not ghosting my therapist. We'll talk about that next week. God. God. We'll talk about that later. But I am moving with every intention to release some of the resentment that I have for my mother, especially because a lot of the things were just out of her control. There were just some decisions that were made that I don't agree with. There are some words said to me that I didn't agree with, and it has hurt my feelings, and I've hurt her feelings. And I'm release it. I'm trying to release it. So out, resenting your mother. Out, dressing strictly in one aesthetic. Clean girl, street style, twee, indie sleeves, tomato girl, strawberry girl, girl, boy, girl, girl, boy, girl. I think we just gotta accept that some days you wake up and you feel different. I wore jorts to I wore jorts to work yesterday and some Adidas and like a spirit shirt from the school I work at. And my kids were like, Miss, you look cool. They also said I look like a cholo, but we're not gonna talk about that. We're not gonna talk about that. And I was like, this is a little bit more similar to how I dress outside of school, actually. And they're like, oh, I just didn't imagine you in this style. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of have different styles. Sometimes I like a more vintage feminine look. Sometimes I like a more androgynous, the boxy, traditionally male look. Sometimes I like really, really hyper feminine and like club wear. It just kind of depends on the vibe. So instead of trying to shop and buy everything in one aesthetic, we're just gonna wear all the aesthetics, and it's just gonna be what it's gonna be. That being said, the hypocrite I am, also out heels. Enough, enough. Unless it is a chunky heeled boot, I don't want it. No stilettos. I don't even want a kitten heel, really. I hate a sandal with a heel. I hate a Mary Jane with a heel. Like, just no heels, no heels, no heels. Enough. Also, out paying for hairstyles. I did this myself. I did the viral miracle knots, but I did it with synthetic hair because I'm poor. So I braided down my natural hair and then, like, in individual braids, and then I crocheted in the boho hair pieces. Now, I was trying to see how y'all did that with human hair. Like, y'all braided in the human hair into your natural hair without adding braiding hair in. I might have to give that a try because that could work. But I hate beauty supply human hair bundles because it's all loose at the top, so it makes it difficult to manage. But I don't know how else. Like, I wish they had human hair that was looped, but that was also still $15. Like, I want the $15 human hair from the beauty supply store, but looped. So we're not paying, and I haven't been for years. I learned how to do my hair during lockdown, and I've been bettering my skills at doing my own hair ever since. And it saved me so much money over the course of the years, especially with the latter half of 2025, where I really just embraced trying to be more versatile in my natural hair. That ate. When I dyed it the lighter brown, it made me, there was something about it that made me love it so much more. Maybe it's because I feel like the dark hair isn't flattering on me. And you're probably like, girl, your hair looks black on this video, but it's brown, I swear, but it's brown, it's brown. And I feel like my dark black hair was washing me out. And so I dyed it a slightly lighter brown, like a reddish brown, an auburn brown. And I loved it. I need to refresh it, obviously, because my roots have really grown in. But embracing my natural hair and having different go-to hairstyles for when I want a chill natural hair day or if I want to look more glam made me love it. So this is my first protective style like this in a while. Other than that weird like week and a half that I had those chunky braids, but those Marley braids. So we're not paying for hairstyles. Also out, minimal makeup. This one is directed at myself personally because I do clean girl makeup or whatever, and I just wear like 2 drops of makeup and call it a day. But my sister knows how to beat her face down, and I'm so jelly. And I used to wear like blue eyeshadow and fill in my eyebrows green, and I would have like Euphoria makeup to school at 10 o'clock in the morning with like glitter running down my face and like watercolor aesthetic on my eye. It was everything. I want to bring her back. I used to do the faux bleached brows, and then I had real bleached brows. And I just feel like I've gotten so complacent in my look. And I used to be so much more explorative and experimental. And I want to bring that back. I can't really dye my hair because like crazy colors because that auburn brown is permanent. So I would have to cut it off or go to a professional. And I'm not there in my healing journey to go to a salon with 4C hair. I haven't reached that part in my journey yet. Y'all gonna have to get somebody else to do it. But minimal makeup out, crazy editorial glitter, sparkle, color. Like next week, I'm gonna come on with some eyeshadow on. Okay, hold me to that. And finally, out, Self-censorship and self-surveillance. I saw a video of the actors that play Kip, Scott Hunter, and Elena from Heated Rivalry, and they were dancing, chopping it up on the dance floor at an event. And there were people just standing around filming them. You're lame. You're lame. We live in a self-surveilled state because everyone is so insistent on, I have to capture this moment and get a video of somebody else doing something instead of actually living in the moment. And then we go on and we censor ourselves in these videos saying like, oh, HE double hockey sticks. Oh, he wanted to sewer slide. Like, we're self-censoring and self-surveilling. And instead of experiencing things, instead of fucking up, like you're gonna misspeak. You're gonna misspeak. You're going to say something that someone doesn't like. It's inevitable. You're going to do something that someone doesn't like. You're going to look like an idiot on New Year's Eve after taking 4 shots of tequila. You're gonna look stupid. You're gonna look stupid. But I was experiencing that night with the other people, and instead of us just sitting back filming one another. Experience something, learn something from this. We were all rooting for you. I have so much more to say about the self-surveillance. I'm a teacher. All my stuff is public though, right? When my kids find my stuff, I block them. Simple as that. Because I'm not going to stop existing and doing what I want to do because I'm a teacher. My teaching and my life are separate. And so if you're so concerned with surveilling me and my every action and whether or not that makes me the proper role model for your child, well, I'm not your child's role model. I'm your child's teacher. I'm not here to govern their morality. I'm here to prepare them and equip them with literacy skills because they lack that, and help them be able to move through the academic aspect of the world. Anything outside of that is outside of my jurisdiction. And if you feel as though I haven't influenced them in that way, it's unintentional and probably comes from me being with them 8 hours a day and seeing them 5 days a week. But we're so concerned with capturing someone doing something. We're so concerned with drudging up people's pasts, finding every picture of them that has ever existed, finding every letterbox review that they've ever written, finding out every ex that they've ever had, finding out where they went to middle school, finding out their childhood YouTube channel. Surveillance. Oh man, the next crop of people that get famous are gonna have to just wipe everything before everything comes to a head. How sad is that? To have to wipe everything you've done as you progress through the years. What good does that do for anyone? But 2026, I'm feeling radically optimistic, inspired, a buzz. Ooh, that was buzzy. I love that new slang term. It's like, ooh, he's so buzzy. Hudson Williams, buzzy. Oh my God, guys, I didn't even talk about Ember and Ice. That'll be my media for the week. I'm radically optimistic about the year. I want to better myself. I want to see more things. I want to create and I want to explore. That is my thesis for the year. Final synopsis of my outs: nihilism, out; not showing up / flaking, out; replying a week later, out; resenting your mother, out; dressing in one aesthetic, out; heels, out; paying for your hair, out; minimal makeup, out; self-censorship and surveillance, out. Media of the week. I didn't write it down. I don't know why I didn't write it down. The Pit. Season 2 of The Pit. I tapped into the first few episodes of Industry and I am intrigued. However, there are some aspects of it that left me disturbed and a little stressed, more so than The Pit. So I had to take a little bit of a break, but I will reattempt my dive in because the cast is hot. Ken, I know Dada. So The Pit, Industry, Knives Out, Dead Man Walking, Challengers, Moonlight, Call Me By Your Name, Sue Me. I'm anti Marty Supreme. I watched it and gave it 3 stars. I did not like that. I don't connect with losers, and I definitely don't connect with a white loser. Egomaniac loser. That's an oxymoron in and of itself. Beautiful set, though. Lovely costuming. Nice shots. Dare I say, good acting, too. It's not resonating with me. Music. I've been on a weird kick with music. I've been listening to everything from Paparazzi by Lady Gaga, Pour It Up, Rihanna, Blow, Kesha. And then I'll listen to some fuck ass shit like Hello Future by NCT Dream, Superhuman, NCT 127, Overthink by Key of Shiny. Just depends on the day. Books. I'm one chapter away from finishing Heated Rivalry because I was gonna read it in tandem with the show, but I didn't want the cottage to be spoiled for me, so I stopped. So now I'm reading everything cottage forward, finishing that up, moving on to the long game so that I can be prepared when September comes and I'm gonna have to fight with bitches at Barnes and Noble for Unrivaled. Rachel, you chewed with the title. We have some things to address. We have to address Weja. We have to address the ED. We have to address el autismo. Pero, todo bien, porque el título es chido, muy chido, very cool. Unrivaled? That ain't. I wonder if Connor and Hudson already have copies, preliminary copies. Wait, who said that? Books. I did music, I did shows, I did books. Am I listening to any new podcasts? I'm always listening to Upstairs Neighbors. Always. Those are my role models. Like Maya and Dom are everything I want to be. I think that's everything for me. You guys, 2016. Like, on y va. Like, we're really up. Our stocks are up. And we cannot afford to believe otherwise. Have a good day. And don't forget to talk like no one's listening.